This game against Oklahoma was not a trap game, but rather a Brandon Garrison legacy game.
You are Locked On Kentucky, your daily podcast on the Kentucky Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, what's going on, Big Blue Nation? Welcome on into Locked On Kentucky, your daily Kentucky Wildcats podcast. I'm your host, Lance Dawe, and on tonight's episode of Locked On Kentucky, we are going to be recapping Kentucky basketball's blowout victory over the Oklahoma Sooners. This was not a trap game. We even said it on the show. This is not a trap game for the Wildcats, but what we did not predict was a Brandon Garrison legacy game. Big time dub for the Cats. We're going to be recapping it here. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. It's the last call for football on FanDuel. If you're a new customer, bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Thank you guys so much for making Locked On Kentucky your first listen every single day. Want to remind everybody out there that we are free and available on all platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to the show. And if you're listening on podcast, would also love it if you subscribe there as well. We are live on YouTube. Going to be honest with you, it's past a lot of people's bedtimes here, so I'm not exactly sure just how many people are going to be joining the live stream to, again, recap this 94-78 victory. But we'll start here with Brandon Garrison. I feel like it would be unfair if we did not start with the star of the show tonight. 20 points from Garrison to go with 11 rebounds, 3 assists in 29 minutes of play. It became pretty clear throughout the course of this matchup that Garrison was simply just the better center to throw out there, and Mark Pope played him, and he gave effort unlike anything we've seen. Now, I'll speculate here, and I've not heard anything about what's happened in the post-game press conference as far as maybe somebody asking him why was this such a big effort and energy game for you, Garrison, but my assumption is that it probably has to do with some of the scuffling from last year's contests that Garrison got involved in against Oklahoma. It also probably has a little something to do with one of his teammates having played at Oklahoma, and the fact that Kentucky's already beaten them twice in heartbreaking fashion. I think Garrison got up for this game because this is one that he wants to leave his mark on. This is a team that he feels like he needs to make a mark on. At least he's played like it in the contests against the Sooners. And again, he played out of his ever-loving mind today. You got to love that technical at the very end of the contest here, where when nothing mattered, the game was over. Brandon Garrison just out here giving technicals, receiving technicals for the love of the game. 20 points, 11 rebounds, super efficient, did not miss a free throw. Really good stuff here from the former McDonald's All-American. This was the Garrison that Kentucky recruited. This was the Garrison that Kentucky went out and got from Oklahoma State. And frankly, this is kind of some of what you saw out of Garrison at Oklahoma State with the pokes, the energy, the effort, the rebounding, the post moves, the running the floor. This is exactly what you wanted out of your former 5-star center. Incredible stuff from Garrison, who has been up and down, as hot and cold as you will see on this team in terms of energy and effort. I really liked what I saw tonight from him. I would love to see that moving forward. Pause for water. Apologies to you guys. We are going through it tonight. hence why this live stream is a little bit late, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. 94-78 is the final score here. Brandon Garrison popping off. And how about his teammate, the former Oklahoma Sooner, Otega Oweh, finishing with a very efficient night himself. 24 points, 7 of 11 shooting, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc, was 7 of 9 from the charity stripe. That's a spot that he has struggled in at the free throw line. Good to see him knocking down 7 free throws here. 3 boards, 3 assists, 1 turnover in 35 minutes of play. Just 2 guys filling up the stat sheet just calmly against one of them against their former team, another against a team that I think that Garrison just really wanted to prove himself against. And then the last big-time player here, Collin Chandler. Knocked down some impressive threes in this game, man. 18 points, 6 of 13 shooting, knocked down 4 triples. Also 3 boards and 3 assists for him in 34 minutes, and a steal to go along with that. Kentucky, we're going to get to it in a little bit as far as their passing goes, but every single player tonight just sort of did what they wanted to on offense at various points. And we kind of predicted that on the show. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys I'm Nostradamus. I mean, if you look at Oklahoma, the way that they've been playing, some of their numbers, this is not a good team. They came into this game losing 8 straight. They were going to catch their 9th and Rupp, almost definitively. And they did. But Kentucky was passing the ball the way that they wanted to. They were rebounding the ball the way that they wanted to. They were getting out in transition the way that they wanted to. It was just sort of whatever the Wildcats desired, they got in this game. 94 points just calmly from start to finish, dominating the Sooners. And here's the scary part. And somebody in the chat just points out, Garrison's actually from the state of Oklahoma. So maybe that's why. Maybe you didn't get an offer from him coming out of high school. I'm not entirely sure. But here's the scary part about this team, not Brandon Garrison, but about this team. We have not seen them against competition with a pulse put together 2 clean halves this season from start to finish. We have not seen it. We've not seen it in SEC play. We've not seen it in the non-con slate. It's always been one half was really bad, the other half was really good. How about this? You go on the road and you beat Arkansas, top 25 Arkansas team, and you play well from start to finish. You were up at half and you controlled the game late. From start to finish, you played a complete game on the road. Shocking from Kentucky. And now, against Oklahoma, 94-78, start to finish. You dominate this game, start to finish. 43 points in the first half, 51 in the second. Oklahoma was hitting a ton of shots in the second half, and I think you just got to give them credit. They got down and they were chucking and they were hitting. I don't know if it was necessarily anything special that they did or anything that Kentucky didn't do on defense. You are now entering the most important part of your schedule, and you have played 2 complete games in a row. Now, I want to reiterate something that I've also said on this show a lot recently. Kentucky is unpredictable. There's no telling what they're going to do on Saturday against Tennessee. We just have to hope the right Kentucky team shows up, and it's shown up for 2 games. So as much as we would like to say a trend could be forming, you could also argue that they are just as likely to revert back to what they were against a team that wants to get revenge. However, I do think it is fair to note it's 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row where Kentucky has looked good from start to finish. They've shot the ball well. They've played good defense. This could be the start of a strong close to the season. It could be. As I said on yesterday's show, Kentucky still has a chance to win the SEC. We may dive into that a little bit more, but they still have a chance, guys. They've still got a chance. We'll continue to break this one down here for you. Big time win for the Cats. We'll get to some more stats. I want to talk about rebounding specifically in just a little bit. We'll get to the live chat as well. Before we do that, though, I want to tell you guys about our friends over at Mazda.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kalia Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. The WNBA has released its 2026 schedule featuring a 44-game regular season beginning on Friday, May 8th. The league's historic 30th season includes expansion teams Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo, with opening weekend highlights such as Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever hosting Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings, and a rematch of the 2025 finals between the Aces and the Mercury. In college hoops, South Carolina handed Vanderbilt its first loss of the season with a dominant 103-74 win. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts the same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment. Putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
All right. Continuing along here on today's episode of the show, really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel or the podcast feed, I would love it if you did so. You guys already make Locked On Kentucky your first listen of the day, and you make the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network, but now you can take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Kentucky with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. You can go to lockedonkentucky.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes to learn more. 94-78 is the final score. Cats improved to 16-7. 7-3 in the SEC. Crazy thing for you guys. Kentucky, with 8 games left on their schedule, is half a game out of the lead in the SEC standings. Half a game. Do you know where Kentucky would be right now if they had not lost to Missouri? A team that they should have beaten at home, that they fell apart against late. They'd be in first place in the SEC. They would be in control of their own destiny. As of right now, they would be in control. Florida at 7-2, Texas A&M at 7-2. Kentucky would be Kentucky would be 8-2. Right now they would be 8-2. It is crazy how this season has gone. You know what the funniest thing about all of this is? Ken Palm lover 247 here, Lance Dawe talking to you. Ken Palm has decided that it just doesn't think Kentucky over the last month has really changed that much. From January 10th to today, February 5th, Kentucky has maintained its 30th ranking in Ken Palm. They have fluctuated a little bit, obviously, but it's been a month and they're still 30th on Ken Palm. Ken Palm's like, well, we've seen them win freaking 7 SEC games. But, I don't think that much has changed about this team. This is, again, as I said, that Vandy game did kill some of the stats. But even then, heading into that Vanderbilt game, you were 28th. Coming out of it, you were 29th. It didn't change. It didn't really change all that much. That's crazy. That's crazy. Actually, that's insane. This, again, as we said at the beginning of the year, what are we going to do on the show that's more important than anything? Eye test. You tell me, does this Kentucky team look like the same one that lost to Missouri on January 7th? Does it look like the same Kentucky team to you? Because it doesn't look like the same Kentucky team to me. Let me tell you what this Kentucky team is doing. They're playing with effort and they're shooting the crap out of the ball. 36.4% from beyond the arc is what Kentucky is shooting in SEC play. That's keeping their offense afloat because they're not awful in a large variety of SEC conference only offensive statistics. But goodness gracious, they're shooting the lights out of the ball and playing good defense. Is O-ball asleep? That's a great question. You know what I did the other day? I was doing a little bit of work. It was late. Decided to put on that Arkansas game again. That was sweet. That was a good time. I continued to look up from my work to stop to watch the game that had already unfolded, stressed. I was still stressed out about it, as if it was still a dream that we had won that game. As 512 in the chat says, it's not even close to the same team. It's not even close mentality-wise. And again, I'm not a, what's the word? Psychiatrist, therapist. I don't know what the right word would be. But if you watch the body language of this team, for 7 of the 8 games, I would say since the Vanderbilt game, this team's looked different. These last 2 games, this team has looked, body language-wise, significantly different. Significantly different. And it gives me, I want to have so much confidence. I want to have so much confidence going into this Tennessee game Saturday. Because we've already seen them win. We've already seen them beat the Vols. But my goodness. I'm still gun shy with this squad. We could beat Tennessee, go 17-7. We're probably going to lose to Florida, 17-8. You're probably going to be 18-8 coming out of that Georgia game. You're 18-8 heading into a crucial game on the road against Auburn, where if you win that one, you are very much so in contention for the SEC title. Very much so. Kentucky has so much out in front of them right now. And they've also got South Carolina still on the schedule, a game that they should win. They get Vanderbilt and Florida at home. 2 out of the last 3. I mean, you could be looking up, and we could be heading into February 28th on Saturday saying, this is right. This is like for the SEC as they close it out. Like, this will be like determining whether or not they're in contention for the title. Just, I want to have so much hope. I want to believe. The note I wanted to get to here on rebounding, because I thought it was pretty impressive. So Kentucky on the year is rebounding 34.5% of their misses. That's their offensive rebounding percentage. In this game, 42.4%. Killed Oklahoma on the boards. And a lot of it had to do with Brandon Garrison, to be honest with you. A lot of it had to do with Garrison. Second chance points, 19 to Oklahoma's 7. There's your ball game. 19 off of 14 offensive rebounds. When Kentucky grabbed the board, they killed the Sooners. It was actually funny. At the beginning of the game, they had this miss. And I believe it was rebounded. There could have been a shot at the rim. It was kicked back out, and Aberdeen missed an open 3 from the top of the key. I was looking at this new shot chart thing that has come out. That I wish I had the Twitter user's name in mind, but it is a phenomenal resource. We're going to be using it a ton here on the show for sure. But it's like different shot charts from stuff from the season so far. And off of offensive rebounds, I think it's Jimmy Dykes, the SEC analyst, that likes to say the best time to shoot a 3 is off of an offensive rebound. Kentucky is shooting like 31% from deep in second chance opportunities, which is just weird. So when I saw that shot go up, I'm like, oh, this is a low percentage shot. The more you know. Very odd. Anyway. Let's see. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about, the assist to turnover ratio, my gosh, 21-6. Just no point guard. No point guard. Team's taking care of the basketball. Again, this is not a good Oklahoma team, but it's an SEC team nonetheless, and you beat them pretty badly. Listen to this. I'm going to go down the list of players that got in. Oweh had 3 assists. Aberdeen had 5 and just 1 turnover. There's your point guard. Didn't shoot well tonight, but he had a couple of threes and hit that pivot at the end of the game. You know what? We'll take it from Aberdeen. 5 assists for Aberdeen. 3 from Yelovich, who quietly had 9, 6, and 3 in 22 minutes. He's a weapon. Collin Chandler had 3 assists. Moreno didn't have any, but he also had 3 blocks. Jasper had an assist, no turnovers. Trent Noah didn't have an assist, but he did have a couple of big boards. Garrison had 3 assists, Diabate. So that's 3, 5, 3, 3, 1, 3, 3. Whole team. This is what Mark Pope likes to do. And only one player had more than 1 turnover. That was Collin Chandler with a couple. He was giving himself 20 points. That's right. Coin surprise. Hey, listen. I know it's the right thing to do to dribble the ball out. If you're pushing the ball up ahead and Oklahoma has no interest in getting back, I know the game's over. Go lay the ball in. Go dunk the ball. You've earned the right to celebrate. If they wanted to do something about it, they would have done something about it 40 minutes ago whenever the game started. They would have actually come out and played hard and won. If you're going to blow a team out, celebrate it. Especially in the SEC. Wins are hard to come by. Celebrate your victories. I don't care what the right thing to do is. The fans were chanting before he dunked. If the crowd is egging him on, what are you really supposed to do? I like it. I agree, Coin Surprise. I like it from Brandon Garrison, from his personality, from his player. Wasn't Mo like a 50% three-point shooter at Bama? Peanut Butter Posse says he was over 40%. I know that, but it was so clear. If you watched him play, he was 46.2%. If you watched him play, it was low volume. It was the spacing within that offense, and I think he just got lucky. He hit some shots he's not going to consistently. That form is not going to let him hit a lot of threes. Frankly, it's not going to let him hit a lot of jump shots, period. As we've seen, he can barely draw rims sometimes. But that's not what he's here to do. Or at least that's not what he's been here at Kentucky to do. So Mo hit 40% with that chest pass to the rim, right? It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. My gosh. You say he's 1 of 25. I'll get it for you right here. He's 2 of 19. 1 of 25. Yeah, he's 2 of 19, which, I mean, spiritually, you're correct. All right, let's wrap the show up here in a little bit. Before we do it, though, I'll tell you guys about our friends over at TurboTax. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life, guys. This year, TurboTax is easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day, because with TurboTax full service, you can have your taxes done for you by a local expert, start to finish, without the stress or the guesswork. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. If a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit turbotax.com/local to book your life appointment today. Excuse me. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. It's the last call for FanDuel or football on FanDuel, guys. One final Sunday, one last kickoff, the final chance to get in on the action before the NFL season officially comes to a close. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Whether you're backing the Seahawks, riding with the underdog Patriot, or building one last same-game parlays, this is the game everyone has been waiting for. If you're a new customer, bet just $5. $5 buckaroos, and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season is over. Last call for football on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, wrapping up the show, 94-78 is the final score. 16-4, 7. We are falling apart here, guys. It's 1:46 in the morning. Let's wrap this thing up real quick. Appreciate everybody in the live chat. 90 strong here at almost 2 a.m. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in. Coin Surprise, Peanut Butter Posse, Captain Crash, Kentucky BBN 859 took control of the boards and took care of the ball. I could not agree more. A comforting win from start to finish for the Wildcats, despite some of Oklahoma's desire to get back into this game. I never really felt like this game was not only just like in control, but like not anywhere close to out of reach. It was just clear from the jump, Oklahoma's not a very good team. Kentucky is a better team. They took care of the basketball. Everyone got in distributing the ball, passing it around. And you grab boards and you controlled the tempo of this game. I do want to give credit to Oklahoma. They hit 11 threes in this game, which was impressive. I mean, they only shot 34% from deep, but when they were chucking, I mean, they hit a lot in the second half. They hit 8 3-pointers. They shot well from the charity stripe. In the second half, they shot well overall. So I do want to give credit. They've got some players. Brown is a really good player. Let's see. Pack is a great player, but he didn't shoot well today. Also didn't play a ton of minutes, which was weird. Tay Davis is good. Blue Jeans and Broom Saturday. I'm thinking about dropping a bag on some tickets. I bet they are really expensive. You know what's funny? This gives me the time to tell this brief story right now. I feel really bad about this. I never check my Instagram DMs because Instagram hides like new people that want to message me behind like 2 layers of checking hidden messages. It's like 2 different layers of having to dig and go see who has messaged you that doesn't follow you. And a fan, I can't remember if it was last year or if it was 2 seasons ago. I think it was last year. Messaged me last minute, like day before, and was like, hey, I've got 2 tickets to the Tennessee game. Like, wanted to see if you, like, just said, want to see if you wanted them. Like, and I definitely would have paid him if he wasn't going to let me, but I feel really awful because I didn't see the message until like 2 months later. And I'm like, I could have snuck in some tickets for the Tennessee game. I felt so bad. But guys, I guess that's if you want to ask a question to the show, like, please either join the locked. That was you. That was you. I feel so bad, dude. I feel so bad. Captain Crash, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. No, it wasn't you. Dude, come on, man. I hate you. Man, you don't have Instagram? Okay, cool. That's valid. That's valid. Sometimes I wish I didn't either. That completely took me out of my element. Gosh. But yeah, at Locked On UK is where you can find me on Twitter if you want anything to do with the show. We should probably set up a text line or a voicemail line, but that would be fun. 94-78 final score. Cats are projected to beat Tennessee. They are projected to beat Tennessee. We'll see if it happens. If they do, they're 8-3 in the SEC with everything laid out in front of them. They are projected right now to finish 20-11. 11-7 in league play. If you had told me they'd get to 20 plus after the way that this season had started at 9-6, I would have told you were crazy. But here they are. Here they are. You can follow the show on Twitter at Locked On UK. Follow me on Twitter at Lance_, and follow the show over on Instagram. That is at Kentucky Podcast. Any questions, comments, concerns, you can leave those in the YouTube comments below. You can hit me on the socials. I will see you all tomorrow for another episode of Locked On Kentucky. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and God bless.